Okay, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to a price action session. It is currently around pre-London hours, September 11th. That's the date today, September 11th, Friday, 2:30 a.m. Eastern. We're just going to be taking a look at some of the economic events we have, some of the market sentiment or what market sentiment is showing us, alongside price action and market structure to see any potential trade ideas we can take advantage of over London session as per scalp. So you guys know how this runs. Before we get into it, let's just see what we have going on tonight from an economic data perspective. Can you guys hear me? You guys can hear me and see the screen fine, right? GJ right now? Chat's disabled? One sec. Why is it always disabled? How the fuck? Oh, there. Okay, should be good. Yeah. All right, chat should be good. You guys can hear me. Yeah, you can see the screen as well. All right. So before we jump into it, let's just see what events we have going on to close the week off, mainly UK GDP figures. So what time is that at? Oh, it already came out. It's already done. That was at 2 in the morning. Okay, so the GDP figures, but they're pretty much on target. Nothing too crazy. A bit better than expected on the manufacturing output. GDP on the 3-month and the yearly was a bit off compared to what the poll was expecting. So nothing too crazy. That data release has already been done. What else we got going on? Just US core CPI in the morning. Okay, so no other data. The GDP data is fairly neutral. We'll just look at the headlines quickly as well to see, because I'm seeing some headlines about some political speakers talking about that data. So let me pull that up. You guys can see the news screen right now, right? All right, cool. So let's zoom in a bit so you guys can read this. UK Finance Minister Sunak, well, today's figures are welcome. I know that many people are rightly worried about the coming months, so a little bit of negativity. UK Office for National Stats. Car sales are starting to exceed pre-crisis levels. That's a good sign. Trade balance, not bad. Construction output was better than expected. Manufacturing was better than the poll than expected. Industrial output, all areas of manufacturing. Office for National Stats says all areas of manufacturing, particularly distillers and car makers, saw improvements, while house building also continues to improve. So the data looks like it's being taken as neutral to more positive, especially from what we're seeing about these comments from the UK Office of National Stats. Education grew strongly as some children returned to school. July GDP is now 18.6% higher than its April 2020 low. All right, not too much else. Some German figures. Philippines, we don't care about that. China Finance Ministry, nope, nope. All right, not too much else, but if anything pops up, I will share with you guys. But it's looking like that data is being taken as fairly optimistic, just that short-term data. So let's just look at the market structure on GJ, just because we don't have too much else going on. What's the date today? September 11th. I think we should stay away from. I still am in more of a euro buy sentiment, but we have a lot of ECB speakers overnight, so we just have to be cautious about that through the morning as well. A lot of them actually. Goddamn. All right. Yeah, I was just looking at the structure. Okay, so let's look at GJ here. So GJ, of course, we know the sells ran great. We are in sell and bearish structure. You can see we peaked around a low level at around 135.5, and we are having some corrective action, or we can at least get some corrective action of this overall impulsive move, which was about like a 250 pip drop. So even if we pull up to like 136.5 or around like this medium term zone in psychological price level, 136.8, GJ would still be fairly bearish, as that data was also taken as a bit stronger, and I'm noticing some lower time frame bullish structure, and this hourly candle has yet to create a top wick. If it can create that top wick and then London comes to grab liquidity and still remains above 136, I think we can take some corrective buys to the upside just to close off the week and give GJ that end of a week pullback. But I want to take a look at the yen and euro and UK equities first as well, just to see how the futures are going. Well, it's obviously futures we look at all the time. But yeah, after this impulsive move, we know GJ is in bear structure. We've been following along. There still is that Brexit negativity, but I just want to see I just see that potential for a scalp, that if we hold the structure on the lower time frame and we come above the psychological price level, we can take that like 30 pip squeeze up to 136.5 and monitor the trade that way. So obviously the lower time frames overall are very bearish, and you have these sellers impulsive moves. We are seeing some minor corrective action being formed here, right? Some lower time frame bullish structure being formed here. So we can see some price sensitivity at a psychological price level of 136.2. I think safer sells for us would be below 135.8, because let's just say this corrective action is as is. It's not going to have a deeper pullback. Like sellers are going to start to jump in the market. If we fail to break these previous price sensitivity highs and come below 136, that's more higher risk sells. And then of course below 135.8, having a shift into some bear structure and then riding that wave down, we can look for those sells. As overall, GJ is very bearish on an intraday perspective, as we've been following the Brexit negativity and we've been playing with the sellers down, right? Like we've already called that. But it is coming towards the end of the week. When I'm looking at those headlines, it is giving a bit of optimism of the UK data. Brexit headlines are fairly quiet for now, even though there's that bit of pressure. So if we can maintain this structure and come above 136.2, this previous sensitivity area, we can take that buy squeeze up to. There's more negativity last night. There was EU pressure last night. Yeah, I know. And that's obviously been priced in, right? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's obviously where all this came from. If those events happened last night, they were probably already priced in a day or two ahead, like as GJ's been melting from its peak point. Why would it get why would it have like an impact after the fact? Like I would need some more fresh headlines, or like otherwise I'm just playing with these options, you know? Yeah, like we shared all those headlines like in the chat. Like we were watching them. That's why we've been playing the GJ styles. Well, like what point are you trying to make? I'm talking about when we were looking at like the newsroom right now for the last few hours, there wasn't any negative headlines in just recent headlines. There's just that little bit of positivity from the UK stats office talking about the GDP data, right? Like we know that Brexit negativity is still present, but we're looking at the structure and seeing what we can adapt to right now. Because if this structure holds and we have that influence of stronger economic data for now towards the end of the week and price comes above 136.2, as scalpers, we can take that squeeze up, which is 30 pips to 136.5. Otherwise, if we fail to break that high, and this was the corrective action, as overall we are still very bearish and there's still a lot of sellers pressure higher time frame on GBP JPY, then of course we can sell below 136 or 135.8 to be safer down that 30 pip range as scalpers. Right now, we're in a bit of a decision area between 136 and the bullish structure and this peaked point on the lower time frame where buyers had been rejecting right at 136.2. So I don't really want to play in the mess right now and play a guessing game, because price can do either or, and we can get a deeper pullback. And we do have some of that stronger data that just got released with support of the UK National Stats Office. So I rather observe the price action accordingly, just because we are still like respecting this lower time frame structure, and then wait for that. So yeah. So what were you talking about? But yeah, I don't know. What did you just send me? You sent me some chat to join. I can't even join that. Like we know about the negative Brexit headlines. We share them. Like we share them. What do you just explain what you're trying to say? But yeah, that's what I'm looking for on GJ. So does that make sense to everybody else though? All right. Just as we've had such a strong meltdown, you can see very strong seller impulsive moves. This is corrective action right now, but as scalpers, we have the potential for because think about it. Personally, if I was a seller, I would want better risk versus reward and want better sell entries anyways. Because GJ overall is bearish, and from an intraday perspective, we're playing the sells, right? We're overall playing the sells, and we understand why. So it would be better for us anyways if GJ does a bit of a pullback and pulls back to like test this previous low point, and then sellers jump in from there as you're overall following the structure still, you know? It gets annoying, bro. This guy's sending me. But yeah, that's what I'm looking for there. This guy thinks we don't know about what's going on with Brexit. Like we just guess sells for fun, you know? Man, sending me some next news article. It's like we got a news terminal. Yeah, we just throw dices. But yeah, so I'm just waiting. So for GJ, we're gonna wait for that. We're gonna see if we get some sellers impulsive candles and a break below 136, and we can start to ride down to 135.8 or below there. You know what I mean? Yeah, we just throw dices. All right, that's that for GJ. So just observe that and monitor that as well. I'll tell you guys if there's any headlines that come up actively. All right, let's take a look at gold now. So gold, what we do want to notice is that we do have stronger buyers impulsive candles, and some of the US dollar strength was starting to get a bit faded out, especially when we started to peak the previous 92.75. That's when we got to bounce back to test previous highs. But you can see buyers still have failed to go and test those previous highs, and we're remaining below 93.3, which can still give a bit of a bullish confluence on gold, as well as we have some buyers impulsive candles, and we're retesting this previous price sensitivity area here where buyers failed to break multiple times last week, and then we had the impulsive break there. That's where we're creating a bit of a lower time intraday time frame support, and we have potential to extend back up and revisit some of these highs or even go to like 1947. So I would only really look for sells below 1939.5, but we are seeing some minor lower time frame bearish structure here, which we're just going to identify, which looks like it's breaking, to be honest. So if we can have a nice break and retest above 1945, as we got a nice little flat candle body support that was created here, where you can see we had this initial seller's impulsive move. It broke a bit lower than our key level, but this is where sellers reacted and closed off some orders, right? Let me clean that right up. So you can see this exact price point around this area. You had a very strong snapback candle and price come back above our key level. and then a bit of this consolidation phase when sellers jump back in the market. You can see again failed to break this low that was created on the lower time frame to the left, and then coming back above the key level. So this for now is looking like more buyer side liquidity to me on the lower time frames, and especially if we can break above 1945 and create a support, then we can look to take those buys up. But we're going to watch price at some of these previous sensitivity areas here. I would only really take sells below this low point, because gold, gold can look like it's gonna sell, then have a quick bounce, like a 1 minute candle just snaps right back, right? Unless it's obviously in very strong bearish market structure, where on the higher time frames, gold is still very bullish when you're looking like when we looked at the monthly, weekly, etc. But when I'm looking at the hourly, we are breaking a bit out of that range, or we did have a nice significant breakout of it. We do have some impulsive buyers candles, some very strong buyers candles. We are retesting that previous high point 1939. We are seeing sellers are closing off orders and buyers are jumping in for now. So I would only look for sells below 1938. Otherwise, I'm looking to come back above our key level 1945, create a lower time frame support, and then ride that up. EU. EU is in a bit of a struggle in a very tight range on the higher time frames, but overall still very bullish, and buyers have printed a high, and euro does have some short-term strength support from the ECB sentiment and from Christine Lagarde's comments if you were following along in the trade room during the day. The only thing is we need to ensure that the US dollar remains below these highs and start at 93.3 and looks to revisit its low points at 93 and 92.7. If we can have the US dollar fall off, as well as we notice euro equities are still solid from that support from ECB, which let's just take a look. Yeah, look at Germany here is going to revisit potential intraday highs. So euro equities are looking a bit solid. UK equities are looking fairly solid. Equities overall given a bit of a rebound, which is good to see. So if we see the US dollar fall off, especially if we see yen fall off for our GJ upside corrective bias just for the London session, then we can also see the potential for Euro USD to take buys above our key level at 1.8400 to revisit these highs. Again, sells have been very messy, and it's very difficult on EU sellers to break previous lows. You can see price snaps back very strongly every time. So I would only look for sells below 1.76. I don't really want to play in this range, but we are hovering towards our key level. So if we can snap above our key level, I would start to see that corrective range up, and we probably get some reaction at these price sensitivity areas you can see here. And we can use those as potential targets. This is looking a bit corrective, but we have some of this minor bullish structure here. It would just be more confidence to break above 1.84, and then with some of that euro support if we notice it during London session. UCAD, I don't really want to play with, so we'll just focus on gold, GJ, and Euro USD for now, while we also watch some of the headlines and look at some of our sentiment indicators, specifically the US dollar. I'm just going to put this is the US dollar. I'm just going to put it on like the 15-minute time frame. And it does look pretty bearish when you're looking at the more smaller time frames, like it's going to revisit this low and smash down. So that could give us more confidences for potential gold breakout buys above 1945. Just watch that. And then Euro USD, we can play some of these ranges up, which these are pretty good scalp ranges, 20 pips, and this is like another 20 pips. If Euro USD starts to melt, I'm not taking sells. I'm not looking for sells. I didn't call that just because it bounces around too much at those intraday lows, and Euro does have that support. Getting some minor structure here, but nothing too crazy. I don't really want to highlight that, but it is something. We'll just highlight it for now. GJ, this pre-London candle is gonna close bullish, I think, above, or it's not bullish. It might flip and turn bullish and close possibly in the next 7 minutes, but still closing above key level 136 and holding that lower time frame bullish structure for now. Oh, I just like the way it looks. And for example, yen charts are like the candles are like messy, like shit like this. There's a lot of gaps and shit. Stuff like this. I think VIX, like some of these charts get very messy when you're looking at candlestick versions. Like, what the fuck is this even, you know? But like, then you can just see. I just like the way it looks with the. Just puts it together easier. All right, so everybody understand? Everybody understand what we have going on tonight? We already had the UK GDP figures, which got released. We're fairly neutral, but are taken, but is taking as good data. What the technical bias and what I'm looking at as per technicals and structure on GJ, gold, and Euro USD, and the reasoning behind it, and then what we're looking for as per price points. And then we'll just watch. Now we just wait. Better now to wait for London Open anyways, and like let the first 10, 15 minutes do its thing. Of course, unless we get the confirms right away. But let's just watch now. It is the end of the week. All right. Don't over trade. Don't over leverage. Relax. Don't get emotional when you come on these price action sessions. You know what I mean? Don't say any like graphic things that you want to do to me. I don't appreciate that. It's funny though. I don't mind. But anyways, just stay focused. Stick to your risk management plans. Make sure you focus on the long term vision. And like it is coming towards the end of the week. It is Friday. We already did call a lot of man. We called a good amount of trades this week. If you guys have been following along the market updates, there's been some nice trades called. I personally caught GJ sells the start of the week and then EU, but that was it. I missed a lot of the gold stuff. I missed those gold buys, but it's all good. I'm only looking to take a couple of trades a week, anyways. A few trades a week adds up. So, anybody have any questions? Anybody want to like send a trading view chart? Anybody want to talk about something? Something on your mind? Speak now. You know, anybody want to come on video as well? Come on the mic. You want to share analysis? Don't be shy. It's always interesting to see, like the reactions in the lower time frame. Like, should just broke up for us. But we have to be cautious because hourly close in like 4 minutes, and this I'm not saying it will, but it might close below the key level, which isn't a good sign. It would have been nice to have a nice breakout above the key level and a candle closure like on the hourly above it, and then London just pull back probably to test structure, then pop back up. But we'll watch it. But always interesting to see like the reactions. Crazy. Like look at this. Look at this. Crazy. If price just ranges, we're not going to cry. We're not going to stress. We're not going to fight the market. We're just going to go by what is presented in front of our eyes. And if it follows what we have already predetermined now, as per gold or GJ or Euro USD, this little pre-planning we already did, then we'll take advantage of it. US dollar might get a bit of a boost during the elections, yeah, with all that volatility, especially because it's been so bearish and at such lows. But that's still like, yeah, it's like over the next couple of months, yeah. Eurogroup head, EU willingness for a deal is there. Prerequisite for a trade deal with EU is for Britain to respect as existing agreements like the withdrawal agreement here. Actually, let me just put this shit for you guys. You guys read this? You guys can read this, right? Could be taken positive. All right. London Open. I'm just gonna be muted as we watch like the first 10 minutes. Just mess around, you know, set up a bit, grab some liquidity. If you guys have questions, concerns, just comment, unmute yourself, ask the question, go on video if you want. Up to you. I just want to quickly see how some of these hourly candles are closing. This one's a bit messy, but that was a nice rejection. I bet like this last minute gonna quickly turn bullish in the last 10 seconds. Imagine. Euro USD is not looking as hot. It would have been nice to get a candle closure above the key level, but it's looking a bit still like the corrected, like it can correct some of this impulsive downside move if it comes above 1.84, but we'll watch that. Oh, it almost did, eh? That was, I don't even know what kind of candle that is. Like people know candle names. What kind of candle? Like, because I never look at candle names. I just look at the size of it, the wick, and it tells me enough about like buyer or seller pressure. But like, what is the name of this candle? A doji? No, that's not a hammer or some shit. An inverted hammer? A hammer? What is the name of this candle? A hammer? The hanging man? You guys are making this shit up. Imagine like looking for these, like okay, let's see how the hourly closed. A nice bullish candle close on this hourly, but I don't like how it didn't create no top wick at all. But I do like how this hourly already created a lower wick and has no top wick. So if we come above the key level and make that support, gold's still looking nice, but we need to come above 1945. GJ, I want to watch how it reacts to this structure. Obviously, we can see buyers rejected at the exact same price point, which is not a good initial sign for us. Would have been nice to get a candle closure above there, but that doesn't mean we won't get it. So let's just observe accordingly. EU already made a lower wick and grabbed some liquidity, but it would have been, but we need price again above the key level and to respect this structure. I like this little price sensitivity area here too. Okay, we got hammers, tea candles, kangaroo tail, dragonfly doji, shooting star, megalodon, pogo stick. This is what would be ideal. Same thing that would be ideal on GJ. It would be like, even if we come down to there. Otherwise, we'll take sells below. Gold, even if it comes down to here again, but we'll wait, comes back up because it's a nice little impulsive, and then bang, we'll ride that. That's like 30 pips just up to here. Otherwise, sells I would honestly only take below that low because gold could just come down to gold could just do a 1 minute melt to 1939, then pop back up. Like it's still too bullish. Oh, okay, Lucas, what'd you say? What is this? Gold? Oh, I didn't even look at that. Oh, on the 30? I was more looking at how see this part you have see this part right here, the like where it's creating this little bit of an intraday support. I was looking at how that is a retest of that previous intraday highs that buyers have failed to break multiple times. Even if we identify it on the 30-minute, I was looking at price was in this range, right? Buyers pretty much from this price point where you're seeing the intraday candles from September 3rd to about this week, September 8th, buyers failed to break this area multiple times, this exact price point, 1939.5. Then we finally had some impulsive buyers come in, the support created above, and then more impulsive buyers enter the market. But of course, we reacted at a previous price sensitivity area here. You can see how we corrected this downside move, but then sellers jump back in where you had more price sensitivity on an intraday perspective and our key level. But we are getting a significant breakout of this consolidation area where gold is still fairly bullish on the higher time frames, and this is creating an intraday support and retesting exactly at that price point for potential more buyers to enter the market and revisit these highs, possibly end of the week or sorry, possibly start of next week or over next week. You know what I mean? So that's why I can see what you're saying here, but that's not enough structural point for me to really say, because it's sort of up above it right here. Like you could put your trend line here. You could connect it right by the points and then say it broke over here, right? That one's a bit just too subjective. But what isn't subjective for me is the fact that the support on an intraday perspective, where we're seeing sellers exhaust, is right at that price point where we had the buyers fail to break multiple times, and we're coming back there for, it looks like, more buy entries to enter the market. More buyer order flow is coming in here, is what I am observing. So I think we're gonna get that volume and that extension up, you know. I would only look for sells below here, and you can understand that why when you're looking at, because we would be coming back into this range. Does that make sense? This structural point here is just that 1 minute structure. It's not like a crazy. It's not like a trend line or anything. It's just to highlight that one. It looks like a shitty trend line on the hourly, but on the 1 minute, it's just to highlight that structure, which you can clearly see was being respected on the 1 minute. You know. So now what some confluences would be for us is if we can break above 1940 from 1945. Yeah, it makes sense. Okay, cool. Okay, EU, here we go. US dollars breaking that low like we expected and dipping down a bit lower. Close this shit. Equities getting a nice little boost. EU get a nice break and retest on 1.184. I think GJ is going to give us that break and retest above 136.2 as well, but I don't want to jinx it right now. And then we'll watch gold too. It's just like, look at this shit. Come on, what a tease, right? Right at the key level. Why? What's over there? Always fascinating. Oh, no way. I jinxed that too hard. Right at the key level. I didn't wait for the candle to close. I jinxed it. But yeah, you guys watch the setups you want to take. I'm just going to be cycling through them, but I just got to go to the washroom quickly. But actually, I want to see if gold looks like it's going to set up soon, but we'll keep it on GJ. Yeah, the US CPI, right? If you guys let me take food breaks, I'll run this. Oh, okay, let's watch GJ. GJ's setting up. Let's get a couple candle closes above 136.2. If you guys don't get pissed off when I go to eat, I'll run this stream for 5 hours. I don't care. It's Friday. So we'll be chilling, watching it. Maybe I'll play like an NBA game on the side. Yeah, Will, this is exactly what I was explaining as well. Thank I like how you're looking at it. Wait, what is this? Next candle, lower time frame. Yeah, that's what we're looking for right now, right here. Let's get that retest of 136.2. It better not just rip it. And I'm waiting for. I want to see what gold does, but I don't like. Obviously, it didn't break above 1945. EU, I wanted to break above 1.84. Yeah, 2K21. They're all the same though, to be honest. All right, if we're running this for 5 hours, wait, then I have to. Then I have to. Then one of you guys have to remind me to first end this Zoom in like 2 hours from now, and then start another Zoom, because like it won't save then. It'll be way too big to save. Yeah, like a five, like when Asian closes at 5 a.m. to to first save this and then send it. Then I'll send over another link and just jump right in again, and then that'll run for like till 8 in the morning or whatever. And that means we got to be more patient because we're watching the markets for like 5 6 hours. So you don't want to be stressed out like, oh man, I just missed GJ, and you know what I mean, stressing yourself out, getting yourself all tired mentally. You want to just be casually watching, but when the setup comes, then you focus and narrow in on what you need to look at. You don't want to just waste your energy. You put a buy stop. That's not. That's I normally don't use buy stops, but if you like using them, E-Rock. For the scalp, 136.5 for the scalp just to watch. Um, to take profit on the scalp, like 136.5. The next psychological price level and key level. French finance minister says we need to have a fair international taxation system as soon as possible. God damn. Yeah, 136.5. If this just breaks back below, though, we do have that sell option, but I'm only taking sells below 1938 for the reasons explained. Otherwise, I'm just gonna let price do its thing because that was a pretty solid rejection at the key level so far on the dot. So I need buyers to come back above key level on that little peak tie. Yeah. Oh yeah, that was a positive point as well. That was a few hours ago, right? Or that's right now. That's 309. That can give a bit of a positive sentiment alongside some of that better data. That was like 308, like about 5 minutes ago. French finance minister says, asked about Brexit, we will not accept any decision that jeopardizes the single market. Positive trade deal, Japan and UK should bless us a bit of a correction on some of those, some of that downside move. Gold looks like it might follow the yellow brick road. We'll wait, but we're still patiently waiting. I took a quick scalp entry at the retest of the structure, 15-minute retest. Nice job, Will. Quick, 13, close 13 pips. Good shit. Do you have a runner? No, it's all good then. I think we're gonna get another setup soon. Anyways, it's only 15 minutes into London Open, so usually the volume starts to kick in like after 3:30, 4 a.m. Eastern. I honestly think GJ could even pull back to like retest like the price sensitivity area and structure again, and then pop back up. But I'm still waiting for like to see what it does at a retest of 0.200 on the dot first. EU is just ranging, teasing us below the key level, and above the bullish market structure on the lower time frame we identified. Gold, obviously, we weren't taking buys there anyways. We're still waiting to see if we get that buy set up. Let's see what GJ does. If we get a bullish engulfing candle close above these wicks as well, you could run like a 5 pip stop and then possibly 20 pip upside for a scalp. But it would be nice to get a retest right at 136.2. EU looks like it might give us the breakout soon. Then we'll look for a retest there. Gold, obviously no 1945 setup yet. Messing about, grabbing liquidity. Yeah, I think GJ is gonna push. Might not give that full retest. It's gonna do that candle close thing above I was just talking about. Bruh. No, I didn't even get to enter myself. Actually, it's not my trading day. I'm not supposed to scalp. Why do I even have this shit open? Oh shit, yeah, watch EU as well, yo. Watch EU for the retest as well. I was so angry for a second that I didn't enter anything on GJ, but I was like, it's not even my trading day. I'm not supposed to be scalping. 7 pip, 5 pip stop, 20 pip upside. Yeah, watch EU for entries coming up. GJ if it retests there and doesn't break. Gold just messing about. Which chart should I keep? I'm just gonna go to the washroom quick. GJ? 2200 would be ideal. Yo, what the fuck? Man was gone for 4 minutes. Fuck just happened. All right, let's see if we hold the structure here. Gold just messing around. Obviously, no buy setup. Oh, TJ went right to 136.5. Rejected right there. God damn. Fuck, GJ was clean. Who's the guy that was saying? Who's the guy that was so who was talking about the Brexit negativity? Huh? Who was the guy that was questioning the analysis? Huh? Where'd you go? Oh, where you at? You take the buy? EU, that was a nice retest. EU's about to fucking fly. Especially if it breaks like a candle closes above here. Yeah, this week was crazy. Bobby, you took EU, I bet. You probably took EU down here, I bet. Don't lie. You probably took EU like over here, right? So wait, who actually caught trades? Because we didn't get a good retest on 0.200, but some people started entering here. Some people probably entered early before I even. Some people enter when I just say GJ is looking like a buy. Some people start entering. Lucas Wayne took 0.200. That one guy Ewok had 0.200. Uh, don't worry, Adonis. We're still going. We're going for we're going for 4 more hours. Caught EU. That's a scalp. That's 10 pips. That's 10 pips. Leave a runner. That's the scalp right there. That's W's in the chat. That's 10 pips. Like and subscribe. Air horns. Air horns out. That's 10 pips right there on EU. Yeah, magic keys. You took 0.100 on you took it here, right? When it's still holding that structure. All right, let's zoom out a bit and see what else we got going on. What's gold doing? Gold just messing about, playing with people's hearts. You know what I mean? Going up and down 30 pips. But that's why we don't mess with gold between the ranges. We wait for it to come above a key level, you know? Yeah, that's what I'm looking at next. Is if this GJ 30-minute closes above 136.5 and we can just get a retest and another quick impulsive move up. Because this structure right now, the pullback, like this structure might run until New York. Like even if we get a pullback to like 136.2 for the new 4-hour candle, you get what I'm saying now? The new 4-hour candle like closes around this area, pulls back to create a lower wick here, then we ride it up again. But that's obviously an hour and a half when the 4-hour closes. Just watch EU though. It's messing around a bit. Still looks good as long as it stays above the key level. But US dollars dropping like we expected. That's nice. Yeah, let's just watch price action for now. Do you guys understand why GJ played out as it did, right? Identifying the potential for some correction on the downside move coming towards the end of the week, the lower time frame bullish structure, the positive UK data that was also being talked about by like the UK National Stats Office, then of course the Japan and UK trade deal news. We'll read about that right now if you guys want to read about it right here. UK says Japan trade deal is an important step towards UK joining the comprehensive and progressive agreement for Trans-Pacific Partnership. UK says UK business will benefit from tariff-free trade on 99% of exports to Japan after the trade deal. UK says digital and data provisions in Japan trade deal go far but beyond the they chirped the Euro deal. They chirped the Euro and Japan deal. They said their deal's way better. Damn, they don't give a shit. They don't give a shit. UK says Japan trade deal will mean improved market access for UK financial services. Let's do it another retest. I think Euro's losing some strength because the UK just did a trade deal with Japan, and they haven't, and Euro hasn't done a trade deal yet, or it's not as good. But let's watch it anyways. It's still holding above key level for now. Just be cautious with it. That's why I said at the 10 pip mark. You gotta secure that 10 pip scalp. GJ ran fucking smooth. Gold just messing around. It's looking like it actually might be shifting into some bearish lower time frame structure as it's like retesting these previous low points and rejecting there. But still, we would wait for the sells below this low anyways. And that might come at New York, when we're watching at New York. Yeah, watch EU. It's right back to entry points for EU, so it's ranging a bit hard, and it might come to retest the structure, then go up again. I think UK chirping the EU caused that. You gotta listen to my instincts about securing, I see it. I see the candle signals. But the US dollar just got a bit of a bounce, but it still looks fairly bearish. Like that looks like it was just for the new 30-minute candles, The new 30-minute candle grabbing liquidity. I think EU is still gonna go back up. Let's look at those 30-minute closes. This one's a bit iffy, as you guys can see. I would wait for price to come back above 136.5 or come to retest structure again. Right? Just because it closed pretty much on the level. It's a bit of an indecision. This is This is a bit better because at least we had a bullish candle close and the EU's going back up. EU's going back up. Yeah. That's a nice 30-minute candle close with at least to create a bit of a wick. So if we can create a support again above 1.84, that should go back up. US dollar just looked like it did that quick pullback for the 30-minute candle. Equities are UK equities are solid from that trade deal news. Euro is just a bit ranging, like using Germany as an example, the German DAX. Dow Jones futures are still solid. Japan, obviously, futures are solid from that. Gold just messing around. We didn't do anything there. If we don't get the full pullback, right? Like let's just say price doesn't come to retest structure, doesn't come to 0.200, it just reacts at like a sensitivity point here. You can see I would still wait for price to like even if it did half a pullback, I would still wait for buyers to come back above the key level where the key level already is having a price reaction. So that pullback would just be to get more buyer liquidity and order flow to break that high, and then we can take that impulsive move to break that high, which would be like another scalp. You know what I mean? Gold, I would still obviously wait above 1945. Stuff GJ. Oh, sorry, I didn't get to see the chat while I was in the washroom. Let me scroll back. What would be a reasonable target for G? Oh, I answered that. 136.5 went there on the dot. W incoming. WW ouch. GJ. EU about to go to 1.86. Let's go. W. GJ is going. Damn, that flew. Where's the air horn? E-Rock, target reach, 25 pips profit. The next 30-minute, 4-hour going to be good. Yep. Yeah, 5 hours tonight. No financial advice. Correct. Yes, we can get another retest on 0.200, possibly for the new 4-hour candle. Even as we're watching price action now, and if we still hold that structure, if we're still holding this bullish structure, we get a retest of 0.200. It's actually a higher probability scalp because we're probably just going to go revisit that high at least, and then have more order flow to break above. But we would need again, like that lower time frame type of flat candle body support formed around that structure retest. TP smash, that's what happened. You took profit, secured and runner going. GJ was nice. Please like and subscribe. Okay, cool. This week was fire. Yeah, this week was fire. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Or like possibly for like the once the new 4-hour makes it slower way, but we got time. And as always, always interesting to see the price reactions at the key levels. You know what I mean? Like these are billion-dollar markets, and we have these key levels to use as guides where we see reactions on them. Like there's billions of dollars going through every single one of these little 1-minute candles, and like they're reacting there. It's just crazy to me. Like that's insane. What's the US dollar looking like? Watch, be careful with Euro USD. I don't like this rejection and these little bit of like slower bullish candles. So if you do have an entry, just like set it break even, just so you don't take a L. And because if it comes back to test there again, it's probably going to break a bit lower. But if you have it break even and it doesn't go back to test there, then you're still good to go, right? Because usually with scalping, I like to set break even as quickly as possible. Because for scalping, you might take a few trades during a session, right? So like you want to protect your capital as much as possible. And especially because scalps, you're dealing with smaller pip ranges, like your TP is like 10, 20, like 30 pips for a scalp is like crazy to people, right? They go fucking ape shit over that as a scalp. So just be cautious of this. I don't like how it's getting a little bit slower on the buyer side. It looks like it might come revisit there. And if it does, then we're just going to watch to see how it reacts at that structural point. GJ, it's not like I was gonna take sells here or call sells here anyways. We were just gonna watch the reaction. Obviously, it was a good reaction. And for anybody who had buys or anybody who took buys from these lower points or 0.200 or you had a buy stop, that was like our take profit point anyways, looking for that corrective action. Gold, fairly messy. Some of that GBP, like UK Japan trade deal positivity will probably leak into New York to close the week off and just give GJ some correction of that like sell side move it's had all week. I want to see where this is reacting right here. See where we're like this little price sensitivity area. But let's see. That's better. And see what I mean? Like the good thing with what the really good thing about scalping EU is? The fucking spread. With most brokers, even if you're a shitty broker, your Euro USD spread should be good because it's always so liquidity rich. You know what I mean? Always has such good volumes. So if you have an entry at the key level and like even with the spread, like this stuff wouldn't touch your entry. It would have to like come right to your entry to really take it out with the spread. You all have good EU spread, right? Or is that just with my brokers? Everybody should have good EU spread at least. Euro USD. Right? Yeah, it should be tiny. It should be perfect for scalping. This is looking good though so far with how the 30-minute closed above and we already created that 30 lower wick and we got that nice retest of the key level and the candle body closure. but just keep it break even in case, because you don't want to risk anything, and then just observe price action. It looks like we're going to get that 0.200 retest. Did this 30 even make a top wick? Yes, it did. So we're still going to, we have to watch this accordingly, because this could have been the corrective action, right? So if overall GBP sellers jump back in the market, as overall from an intraday perspective, and based on all that Brexit negativity, we are in very strong bearish structure. We are still looking for that sell bias below 136. If we have that candle close below there, even below the structure point, we can start looking at it, you know. But I think we're gonna just play in these ranges and have some more correction, and then probably continue the GBP sells next week and like play that structure. You know what I'm saying? Like, right? Like get a nice, just correct a bit. Maybe for next week, create that top weekly wick as well. Retest like 137.2, still hold bear structure, and then continue that, continue the GBP, JPY sells. But obviously, we'll see how that goes. It looks like gold is making a bit of a lower time frame support. If it pops back above the red box area, then comes above key level 1945. This would be some fairly solid buyers liquidity generated again, like similar to what we saw sort of happen here. And then you had a bit of that buyer extension. We're sort of getting something similar happen, where then you can get that buyer extension again. But we'll watch it because it's still fairly messy. GJ coming towards 0.200. We're going to watch the reactions. I really want to see exactly where it reacts around this area, because that's where we broke out from, where we're getting a bit of rejection initially. You can see like when we were first testing this area, buyers tested 0.200, failed to break, did a minor pullback and then grabbed liquidity, but it still wasn't enough order flow, failed to break. Then you had this consolidation period, retesting structure, then that was enough order flow to break out. But overall, GJ on the higher time frames intraday is bearish, so we just want to see if buyers start to jump back in from retesting these highs, and then look for like a bullish engulfing candle close, and start, we could actually scalp that, or still wait above 136.5, possibly at like New York. But we'll just watch price action now. EU, I don't like how it's like rejecting right at these right at these little previous 1 minute highs. So just be cautious if you're still holding EU. The US dollar's flipping a bit bullish on the lower time frames. Nothing crazy. Like this is just the 1 minute on the US dollar. Still has some of this bearish structure. And it's just retesting those previous little lows. So it could just flip here, go back to revisit those lows. But if it breaks this minor structure, the US dollar, and like comes back above these lows or back to test 93.3, I would be more, I would stay away from Euro USD buys. Dow started dropping, ripping. Dow looks like it's going just ranging, like it had a bit of an impulsive move. Now it's just ranging a bit. Let's watch this GJ reaction. What's this headline? Not many more headlines. Gold, keep an eye on as well. If we get that break above 1945. If we do get that break above 1945, I'm just going to shift this to potential structure as we be breaking bear structure. And this might be the, like, if we get an impulsive move from this point that breaks these highs, then I would identify this as the new structure points and then watch how price keeps reacting to that through New York for entries, you know? But for a scalp, for us through the session, I'm looking at a break above 1945 still. Remember I was saying this was just some minors, like I didn't really want to draw it anyways, but we'll watch it. We'll just watch the reaction. This looks like it's actually starting to develop some more structures if we get an impulsive move of buyers from this point. And then of course you can extend this and just watch the reactions. Like if you get an impulsive move like this, that breaks above these previous little 1 minute highs and our key level, and buyers close in that fashion for like the 4 a.m. candle, and let's just say price just starts raining a bit and peaks up to like 1949. Then if that following 4 hour candle comes to 1945 to retest this structure and rejects, you have that confidence that you'll be entering buys with with the other buyers that will be entering for the impulsive move to the upside, you know, still respecting that lower time frame bullish structure and that shift and break out of bearish structure while using our key levels as guides alongside the structure. So yeah, but let's just see what happens. GJ 15-minute looking like a nice retest. Yeah. Yeah, so this is a new 15-minute candle right here now, no? Just talking about? Yeah, EU, see, I was telling you guys to like, I didn't like those rejections, so it's possibly going to come revisit. It's best to be break even, so nothing, you don't lose anything. As dollars just having a little bit of bullish pressure on the lower time frames. GJ, we could take buys above here. 136.3 up. Oh, 5 pip SL. 5 pips on EU's big, bro. 5 pips is like all the way down here. And the entry was here. Did you enter up here? Did you enter up here? Oh, you had your five, like, oh, true, true, true. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Better than nothing, right? Yeah, yeah. That's what you said, better than nothing. Okay, okay. That the 15-minute Jesse looks like it could flip bearish and break lower still. That's why I identified just some of these flat candle bodies here is where price reacted. So if we could still validate 0.200 and come above here, then I would take that extension up to 136.5, where that's still 20 pips. I didn't like how this 15-minute created the top wick already, and it could. And it could like just come to retest structure and break structure as GJ is still very bearish on the higher time frames. So I need more confirms, which is seeing buyers break above 136.3. Or we're going to watch for higher risk entries at this sensitivity area again in that structure. JJ, bro, Dow Jones has fucking nothing to do with GPJPY. Just because you've seen it like 5 or 6 times, maybe GJ was going down and also US 30 was going down, they got nothing to do with each other. You know what I mean? Like maybe it's just coincidences. Like GJ overall is still bearish. You know what I mean? But like when we're looking at like we've been remember when we come into these price action sessions, we're looking for scalps in the mind of a scalper. But obviously, as everybody has been following along since the start of the week, we've been taking advantage of GJ sells from an intraday perspective and looking at the higher time frames and alongside the Brexit volatility. So with that being said, even though we took advantage of these buys, it doesn't mean I'm seeing GJ going fully bullish again, or I'm trying to see it go up like 100 pips right now. We're just taking advantage of the lower time frame structure and potential corrective action alongside some of the bit of positive market sentiment we had. Like we literally saw that Japanese news give these little impulsive that 30 pip play. You know what I mean? That's what we're like taking advantage of, that corrective action. We identified that Japanese trade deal, and you literally heard me say this is going to bring a little bit of positivity to GBP, right? And then of course we had some of that positive data as well. So taking all that into consideration in real time right now, alongside structure and alongside looking for some corrective action on GJ as scalpers, that corrective range was about 30 pips. So that's perfect for a scalper, right? We took advantage of that. That's why the TP was 136.5. And now we are subjectively watching the markets again. We're not looking, we're just seeing if GJ holds structure and can give us another buy scalp setup again. We're not looking or saying GJ is bullish. We're not looking or saying it's bearish. We're just observing structure from a scalping standpoint where we all understand GJ intraday is bearish right now and why it's bearish, and sellers are in control, right? So like I hope everybody understands that. If you've been following along Capital Hungry this whole week, or right, you guys get that? Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna take the silence as a yes. Yeah, and you guys understand what we were taking advantage of just from the scalping mindset, using the session volume and what we were watching. Because obviously GJ is still very bearish, but that doesn't mean it's just going to always drop. There's impulsive moves, there's corrective moves, and you can take advantage of either or if you have the confirms. And we had the confirms. We were waiting for price to break above 136.2. Some people took it early at the structure retest. We identified the structure and we had the reasoning why when we're looking at some of the recent headlines or some of the data as well. For EU's just like EU's coming towards the end of the week. It's in that bit of a range as well, and it had like we were talking about, US dollar still holding some short term strength, but euro did get a bit of that boost from Christine Lagarde's sentiment, right? And we already said like um if the US dollar in the lower time frame, because remember the reason why I'm watching the US dollar on the 15-minute or on the 1 minute is because I'm watching it in the same time frame for confluences and confirms in that scalping perspective. So if I start seeing, so if we're looking to take 10, 15 pips on EU, and when that's why I'm telling you guys, when we were in entries here again, and I saw buyers reject at the same sort of price sensitivity point, that's why when I saw this bearish candle close, I didn't just say then look to close EU buys or set a break even. Then I went to the dollar index on the lower time frames to see, okay, what's going on here? Oh, it looks like the dollar index might go back to 93.3. So if that goes hand in hand, the potential for EU when it comes to test this area again, it's going to break lower. especially after buyers failed to break that high already. Because what do we need to break these little 1 minute highs? We need more buyer order flow in the market, or just order flow overall in the market. That would be buyer side liquidity. And how do you get that? You either get that in pullbacks and buyers enter from better price points, and then you have enough volumes and order flow, or you get that in a consolidation phase where, let's just say, EU didn't break 1.84 and it didn't break this high, just like we've seen GJ do many times on some of our price action sessions, where we'll be in GJ buys and it will literally range and generate liquidity until 5 a.m. And then New York, it finally has enough buyer side liquidity where sellers didn't break the key level, it didn't break the structure, so that liquidity is buyer side, right? And then you have the impulsive move up. But yeah, now we're gonna watch how it retests. So that's why that was like my thought process. So initially, when the 30-minute candle closed above here and we saw this liquidity grab, I said we can at least see potential for some EU entries again. But then, of course, when price reacted at these previous sensitivity points, we noticed the US dollar. Right here, I was saying, all right, set break even, because it looks like EU is going to come revisit the key level. And now you can see price action breaking below and using it as a resistance. But we also have to watch what happens here, because this is a very strong price sensitivity area and retesting that minor bullish market structure. Right? So it's just all about, when you're scalping, it's all about watching things in the perspective and in the same time frames as if you're scalping. So that's why when I'm sharing you guys intraday analysis, I'm more looking, I'll send you guys dollar charts on the hourly, because I'm looking at where the dollar can go on an intraday perspective, because that's what's going to have impact on our intraday analysis, or where the yen can go on an intraday perspective, right? So it's just about adapting to whatever time frame you're working with, of course. And look at that, like, quick reaction right at that exact same price point. So now price can just range. If it doesn't break this low, it doesn't break the high, just range, right? So we'll just watch. But is that not interesting, that where you're seeing this reactions on the 1 minute and some of that bullish structure, like even if it melts below, that's where sellers are reacting right now, and they're making that decision if there's enough order flow to break that low. But yeah, we'll just watch that. GJ 1 hour is about to close. I would still like it above 136.3 to take those 20 pips up. Gold, of course, is messing around. It didn't break or test that previous high. And it's starting to break this structural point too, so it's looking more bearish. But we're going to take sells at a break below 1938, where sellers reacted and failed to break twice already. So if price comes down here, goes below 1939.5 and breaks these lows, we'll see a squeeze down of like easily 20-30 pips. But obviously gold didn't do our buy bias of buys at a break and retest or support created above 1945. It rejected there right on the dot. It is what it is. And obviously US dollar went to go retest 93.3, like when we were starting to notice the shift on the lower time frame. So this might continue. This might break the structure and continue more bearish, but it looks like it's just ranging and has been ranging for like the last several hours. But that initial little bit of an impulsive move for 10 pips, that's a scalp. GJ, if we can get some bullish candle closes and validate this as a support formed at 0.200, and if the next hour retests and fails to break, we come above 0.300, we'll ride that wave up. I'm just going to grab some water. This hourly is closing anyways. Anybody have any questions? Anybody lose money somehow? There's always somebody, man. Who lost money? Who took some random trade or like took some random entry? Just be honest. Yeah, someone FMG'd here. They thought I was gonna go to the meet. They thought I was gonna go to the moon. Break even is not bad. It's better than a loss, and we still got a few hours. 1K in a trade? Oh, you're joking? Okay, okay. See, that's looking a lot better, and especially how it's gonna close the next. Bro, if this goes just goes to 0.500 again, no. So this new hour, if this new hour can retest 0.200, that's ideal for us. We can even take higher risk entries here. How's the hourly closing? No, no way. Don't go up already. Chill. Did it close bullish? Okay. Got a nice bullish candle close. We do have some wick range area to fill. We are above that point, so we just want to identify the 1 minute right now. Are the prices just going to run that 20 pip range, or will quickly give us a pullback and a bit of that double bottom action, then run up? EU's looking a bit more bearish right now with how the 30 in the new hour already created a bit of a top wick and has no lower wick, and we've closed below 1.84, so don't touch any buys on EU. So I'm gonna fill my water bottle. Bro, I'm still here. I didn't even leave yet. This guy. This guy, I had nothing to say. Like you guys gotta give me talking breaks too, you know? Talking for like 2, 3 hours straight. I start to jumble my words and shit. Sound like I have a speech impediment sometimes. I swear. I'm gonna go fill water. If it goes to 0.500, then I'm gonna say you're right. All right. If it doesn't, then it's just a myth. So now I'm stepping away. All right, I'm back. Oh shit, it actually did go up a little bit. No way. God damn. I just came back and it's dropping now. what a retest of structure, eh? Like what a perfect retest of structure in those low points. Oh, watch gold as well. See if gold comes above 1945. I started heating up some chicken as well. Anybody got any marination recipes want to share with me? I need to change up the flavor of this chicken I'm making. Man said try butter chicken for him like I'm Indian. Fucking guy said try butter chicken. Nando sauce? Actually, I don't think I have. Is it good? I might test that out. Cheeky Nando's. Nando's the best. We just started recently getting Nando's opening in Canada. And I think there was one like in Toronto the whole time, but I never really went there because a couple hours away from my house. But then a Nando's opened in my city like right before coronavirus. So then I think they got fucked. Super sad. 15-minute candle on GJ, or sorry, Euro USD is closing above the key level. If we get a retest again, we can probably run that squeeze up. GJ for the 15-minute, I want to see if we still hold like structure here. And gold, I'm waiting for above 1945. Dollar, damn. See like these reactions are crazy. Dollar back. Dollar's gonna dump again if it stayed below 93.3 like that, and sellers just jumped in like that, and it comes to revisit these lows, it's gonna melt down. Unless it's gonna range until PPI data. Is it just PPI today? Just CPI. Oh, it's CPI. I don't think the US dollar should range till then, but consumer price index is pretty important. It's like consumer inflation figures. I'm gonna keep it on gold for a minute because I think we might at least see a reaction again in 1945. I just want to see. If you guys have any questions or concerns or anything, just leave it in the chat. I'm just gonna be replying to a couple like messages on my phone and stuff. I'll just be muted. Any questions, analysis, concerns, comments, W's, L's, throw them in the chat. The Reuters terminal, yeah. Yeah, we should we should identify this as a nice area where buyers keep rejecting this little area here at 1.845, as you said. but it's also still sellers are also still failing to break the structure in these lows at 1.32 as well. So we need a break of either or anyways. But overall, still looking like US US Taj is doing ranging down here, but it's still rejected below 93.3. GJ new 15-minute looks like it's going to come to 0.200. Gold I still want above 1945. But yeah, we're just going to let some price action develop now, you know? Let's just let some price action develop. Yo, what's up? Start another Zoom. So what'd you guys say? No, I was just letting price action develop now. You know what I mean? Oh, it's 2 hours? Yeah, yeah. I'll start another one soon. I'll probably send on the Zoom link for the second session for New York at like 5:36 in the morning, because like the new 4 hour like Asian session's about to close, and then we'll watch it pre New York till like New York. You know what I mean? Till NYSE or something. What's going on? Gold still ranging a bit. No confirms above 1945. Euro USD, nice little retest at 1.84 though. GJ, I still see the upside potential on GJ as well. Yeah, it's been like what, 2 hours? Yeah, 2 hours. All we really took advantage of was the GJ buys and the and like a 10 pip EU scalp, nothing else set up. We watched some of the headlines, we understood what was going on with some of the economic data, played with the market structure, and that was that for the Friday London stream. I'm gonna save this upload and send it over, and then I'm just gonna eat, and then pre New York, I'll send another link. I'll send another link in the main feed, a Zoom link. So cool.